Hey everybody, it's Josh. Welcome to the Landlord Harassment Channel. You've seen the title of this video, don't you? Brooke Farmer strikes again. In one way, this doesn't surprise me because Brooke is Brooke, and she's got her obsession with me and obsession with bullying me out of my lease, and she'll take any opportunity she can to do that. But on the other hand, I am just shocked at how someone who I've never done anything to can constantly harass me like this. I got a 7-day, I came home to a 7-day eviction notice on my door. They're moving forward with eviction against me. The reason, leaving a quote-unquote harassing letter for my upstairs neighbors. What that's in reference to is the fact that my upstairs neighbors, I don't know if new neighbors have come in the last 2 months, but my upstairs neighbors go through these like 2-week-long spells where I don't know what they're doing up there, but it sounds like constant pounding. I mean, it really sounds like somebody's taking a baseball bat and just boom, boom, booming on the floor. And this will go on and off for hours. I've tried to talk to them nicely about it before. It stopped for a while. But it started back up again. So a couple of weeks ago, I left them a note. And my note was strongly worded, but it wasn't threatening. It didn't have cuss words, nothing like that. I told them that whatever they're doing up there to make those constant pounding noises needs to stop. I told them I don't get what they're doing up there. There's nothing I do in my own apartment that results in a continuous pounding and rumbling noise. And because of that note, by the way, that's all this note said. Because of that note, I got an eviction notice on my door today. Because Brooke feels like I should have no rights in here. Brooke Farmer, the manager here, feels like I should either just have to put up with any amount of noise or leave. In her mind, I don't have the right to communicate with my neighbors at all. And every time I try to resolve a noise situation, she's going to come after me. Kind of losing my train of thought here as to what I was going to say. Every time Brooke has come after me, it's because I've either tried to talk to my neighbors about the noise they were making, or I didn't let Brooke push me around. Like Brooke tried to make some rules for me one day saying, basically, I'm not allowed to communicate with my neighbors at all about noise-related situations. And I have this in an email. She said just that. I told her, no, you're not allowed to make those kind of rules for me. You don't make them for anybody else. You don't get to target me. And I have the right to communicate with my neighbors anyway. And that's what started this whole year-long process of on and off her putting quote-unquote behavioral notices of violation on my door and threats to evict and so on and so forth. And that's what resulted in her knocking my door this summer and trying to sort of bully me and intimidate me at my own door. I don't want to cover all that because I've got all that in other videos. You guys can watch them. This is over a year now that I've been living under this kind of duress. Again, I have been a quiet tenant here for 8 years. I got through my first 7 years here without having any kind of issues with the office or anything like that. But when Brooke took over, she started targeting me. Now I've got a 7-day eviction notice on my door. So Brooke, I'm going to look right at you and say something to you because I know you're going to see this video. And Todd, I'm talking to you too. But I'll address Brooke first. Brooke, I'm not going to stop fighting. Actually, you know, I had something I was going to say before this. There is some good news here. I called Iowa Legal Aid. They are going to step in and they're going to protect me from the eviction itself. So I probably don't have to worry about an actual eviction. But the harassment is going to continue. I'm still going to have to live under the duress of knowing that if my neighbors are making a bunch of noise, and I do anything about it at all, whether I hit the ceiling, whether I go upstairs and knock their door, whether I leave notes for them to tell them to stop making so much noise, if I do anything like that, I face the threat of eviction thanks to Brooke Farmer and her constant attempts to try to bully me out of my lease. No tenant should have to live like this. I've been a quiet, paying tenant here for 8 years. How are you going to tell any tenant that they're not allowed to communicate with their neighbors, especially when they're just trying to resolve a noise situation and trying to have some peace and quiet? How are you going to punish a tenant for trying to resolve a noise situation? You should be punishing the tenants that are making noise. But if you don't want to do that, then you should stay out of it. I do have the right to communicate with my neighbors about noise, and I should be able to do so without facing the threat of eviction. Anyway, Iowa Legal Aid is going to step in, and they're going to protect me from the eviction itself. So I don't have to worry about being evicted itself. But this harassment is going to continue until I find another lawyer, because Iowa Legal Aid doesn't sue people. So I have to somehow find a way to raise money or find a way to get another lawyer to represent me so that I can sue these people and get some justice. And that's where I'll address you, Brooke Farmer, and you, Todd Westenberg, right now. You think you can get away with doing this stuff to me just because I'm poor and I can't fight back at the moment. I don't have money right now, but I have a whole lot of determination. Brooke Farmer, Todd Westenberg, I am never going to stop coming after you. I'm going to keep coming after you and keep coming after you and keep coming after you. Make no mistake about it, I am after you. Legally speaking, of course. I don't want you to turn and twist this like I'm talking about some street violence situation. I'm not. We're talking about legal, perfectly legal justice here. But in a manner of legal speaking, I am after you, and I am going to stay after you until I get some justice, until I get some compensation, until I ruin both of your careers. Brooke, because you kept harassing me, you kept trying to make rules for me and give me rule violations that you don't do to anybody else on this property, because you've got some obsession with me, and Todd, because I've shown you proof that Brooke does this. And not only did you double down and defend Brooke, not only did you not fire her, but you actually promoted her. I don't care if it takes me 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I'm always going to be a thorn in your guys' side until I get justice. I don't care if I hit the streets. I don't care if I have to live under bridges again. It's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep finding perfectly legal ways to screw with you guys until I win. I gave you plenty of chances to back up off of me and let me live in my apartment in peace. But you guys are pieces of garbage. The fact that I don't have any money just means it's going to take me some time to figure out how to fight you guys. And it also probably means I'm not even going to win the first 2 or 3 battles when I do finally get you into like a court situation or whatever. But the thing is, I'm going to keep coming after you until I win. I'm going to keep finding ways to fight back against you. You picked the wrong person to continuously screw with. You guys have had no right to mess with me the way you have in the last year. Brooke, I don't even know what I did to you. Like, you've been around here for years. I barely knew you existed until you became a manager and decided to start messing with me. You don't pull this stuff on anybody else around here. You just got some kind of hang-up about me. Not once have you ever shown any sort of respect or regard for my right to live in a quiet environment or any of my other rights as a tenant. How are you going to threaten to evict somebody for trying to communicate with their neighbors about noise? I could see if there was a threat. Like if I had gone upstairs and said, I'm going to beat your guys' ass if the noise don't stop, I could see you writing me up for that one. But nothing even close to that took place. And it never has. This is all because, Brooke, you have some kind of hateful obsession with me. You hate the fact that I stand up to you and I won't take any crap from you. And you hate the fact that I stand up for myself at all, even without you there, because you just don't feel like I have the right to stand up for myself. You feel like I'm beneath other tenants or beneath other people or beneath you or something. I'm never going to stop coming after you until I get some kind of legal justice. Again, I want to make it clear because I know you're going to turn and twist my words. I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about committing crimes against you. I'm talking about legal justice. Anyway, for the rest of you. By the way, this eviction notice on my door today, it wasn't even on my door. It was like on the ground. I actually kind of thought it was some garbage that had blown around because there's a lot of litter that blows around out here. But I picked it up just in case it was something for me. And there was a 7-day eviction notice. And there was no tape even on the paper or no tape on my door. So they didn't even bother to tape it to my door so that they could make sure I saw it. They were probably hoping I stepped right over it thinking it was garbage. I took pictures of that too, so that I wouldn't know I had a 7-day notice. Luckily, I did pick that piece of paper off the ground and saw what it was. Either way, Iowa Legal Aid is going to step in, and I've done nothing wrong, so they will very likely be able to protect me from the eviction, but the harassment isn't going to stop. Brooke is doing everything she can to make me feel like I either have to passively accept the noise no matter how loud it gets, no matter how many times it goes on, or leave. And every time I try to do any kind of communication with my neighbors about the noise, Brooke is going to target me and threaten to evict me again. And yeah, maybe Iowa Legal Aid will step in again that next time and protect me from eviction again. But that's not the point. The point is just to harass me to the point where I leave on my own, which is landlord harassment. It's landlord retaliation. Well, for those of you asking about the pit bull attack, I still haven't heard back from the office. When I got attacked by that pit bull, I did report that to the office. Not one person has responded back to me about that pit bull attack. And this has been 3 weeks ago. So nobody from the office has reached out to ask me how I'm doing, ask me if I'm okay, ask even what my side of the story is. Nothing. And I know they want to because the average people that work at the office, like I said, they seem like decent people. They probably want to reach out. But Brooke's a piece of garbage, and Brooke's got some kind of hateful hang-up about me, so she doesn't let them. So yeah, I'm probably not getting evicted because Iowa legal aid is probably going to stop that. But Haverkamp is going to keep harassing me. So this is what I have to look forward to. I've got nothing else to say. Guys, have a good weekend.